We begin in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Pay very close attention. This is the most important midterm election year in our lifetime. And what you see here would be a preview of coming attractions if Democrats ever get back power. Understand that the entire Democratic Party, they get in power. They have a very long list, very long agenda. Not long ago, Democrats repeatedly were lecturing all of us about the rule of law, about, oh, we can't disenfranchise voters, et cetera. But yet they don't want proof of citizenship. They don't want voter ID, signature verification, chain of custody controls. They don't want updated voter rolls. They don't want any of that. They don't want any voter integrity so people would have confidence in the results. Remember, they told everyone they were the defenders of democracy. They cared so deeply about checks and balances and norms. No, an ID to get into their convention, you need that, but not to vote. But within days of taking slim majorities in Virginia's state legislature and swearing in the radical left-wing governor, Democrats did, in fact, embark on the most aggressive power grab and effort to eliminate all but one Republican congressional district in the Commonwealth of Virginia, all with a brazen gerrymandering scheme in the process. Oh, they did not pay attention to the law, and they violated in multiple ways the state's constitution. The result of their dishonest, illicit scheme were thrown out by that state's Supreme Court. But now, instead of honoring and defending the rule of law, they can't appeal to the Supreme Court. Many state Democrats, they are now actively plotting a judicial coup, literally, also known as an insurrection, using their definition. According to the New York Times, Democrats in Virginia plotting to forcibly remove all of Virginia's Supreme Court justices by lowering the mandatory retirement age to 54. Pause there. I know so many Americans that retire at 54. Actually, I don't. I don't know anybody that retires at 54, which just so happens to be 1 year below the youngest judge. Quote, Virginia judges are appointed by the General Assembly, where Democrats hold majorities in both chambers, and could then fill all of those vacancies with all of those forced early retirements. And the court, of course, would put on sympathetic Democratic lawyers that would sign on to their corrupt, unconstitutional gerrymandering plan. Why? They want to seize power. Democrats are even willing to fire the Chief Justice, who is the very first African-American woman to serve on the Supreme Court of Virginia. Now, this is fundamentally un-American, a dangerous assault on democracy, to quote Democrats. But Democrats, they don't care. The double standard runs deep, it runs wide. One state rep from Northern Virginia urging his Democratic colleagues to have strong stomachs to do whatever is necessary to seize power in Virginia. Even the House Minority Leader in name only, Hakeem Jeffries, is also apparently on board with a statewide judicial coup. Take a look.
We do have these structural problems that need to be addressed. We've got to, for instance, make sure we pass the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act so we can end the era of voter suppression in the United States of America once and for all. We have to end Citizens United, dramatically reform our campaign finance laws to stop the ability of these deep-pocketed special interests to intervene. And we are going to have to explore massive judicial reform, state by state, and at the federal level, and everything should be on the table as far as I'm concerned.
Now, if Democrats, if they're willing to do this in a left-leaning state that Kamala Harris won by under 5 points, you better believe they would do this nationwide. They would disenfranchise 96% of the 46% of voters in Virginia that went for Donald Trump, and they don't care. And famed Democratic strategist James Carville, getting a little loony lately, announced the strategy in April. He said the quiet part out loud. According to Carville, the moment Democrats regain national power, they will get rid of the U.S. Supreme Court as we know it. In other words, they will pack the court with far-left judicial activist judges, while also adding Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C. as states, all in order to ensure 4 extra Democratic senators in perpetuity. That's their plan. Make no mistake. Democrats have one goal, one-party rule forever, in perpetuity. In other words, they are plotting the end of our democratic republic, and they're willing to go to any length to get there. Now, tonight, thankfully, they do have two big obstacles. One, voters don't like them. Two, their racial gerrymandering scheme, that was struck down by the Supreme Court. And recently, redrawn red states could give Republicans now an edge in the House for the midterms, which, by the way, is now less than 6 months out. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with Me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.